Hi there, and welcome to your second Milestone project. This project is going to be pretty cool, and it's going to allow us to store the books we're reading and then go back and mark them as read, so that, for example, we can keep track of everything we've read so far and what we want to read in the future. The most exciting part about this project, though, is the way we're going to build it. We're going to start by using an in-memory database, which is just a Python list. Then we're going to extend it so that instead of saving things in a list, it saves them in a file. And afterwards, we're going to extend it further still by saving things to a SQL database. Building the project in these three distinct steps is going to help us really understand what's going on behind the scenes. So please bear with me as we go through this. We're going to have some coding sessions like the one you see in your video right now, interspersed with some slightly more theoretical sessions where we'll talk about databases and how they work, and also how to use them. If you don't know what a database is, don't worry. Through this section, you're going to understand exactly what goes on inside a database and why we want to use them. The Milestone project, though, is going to be a book list. So in the next lecture, you're going to have a brief explaining exactly what I want you to do for this project. But I also wanted to give you some brief instructions in this video just to help you along your way. Our project is going to have two files. It's going to have an app file, and it's also going to have a package which is going to be called utils, not ITOs, utils. And inside utils, we're going to have another file which we're going to call database.py. This database.py is going to be concerned with storing and retrieving books from a list. Okay, so it's not really going to be a SQL database just now, it's going to be an in-memory database. And we're going to have a books list, which is going to be an empty list to begin with. And we're also going to have some functions here to add a new book to our list, to retrieve the books from our list, and so forth. The brief is going to have a lot more information on exactly the layout of this file and how it's going to be used. In app.py, we're going to have our user menu. Of course, this is going to be a text-based application. We haven't looked at making graphical interfaces just yet. So we're going to do everything via text. For that, we are going to have two things. First one is we are going to import database in order that we can deal with saving things to our books list and so forth. And we're also going to have a user choice. And this is going to be a multi-line string, which is going to describe to the user what they can do. So I'm going to just copy it from my notes here, like so, your choice here. So the user choice is what we're going to print out for the user to know what sort of things they can type. And that's going to be A, to add a new book, L, to list all books, R, to mark a book as read, D, to delete a book, and Q, to quit. We've already created a menu for our last Milestone project, so you know how this goes. We're going to have a menu here, and then we are going to sort of get the user input. And then we're going to have a user input is not Q while loop, and here we're going to ask the user stuff. Sorry, not going to ask the user stuff, but we're going to actually deal with the user's input. So if they enter A, we're going to call a function that adds a book. If they enter L, we're going to call a function that lists all books, and so forth. So down here, you'll probably have something that looks like prompt add book, and def list books, and def prompt read book, and def prompt delete book. Like so. So each of these functions should do something. This one's probably going to ask for book name and author. This one's going to show all the books in our list. This one's probably ask for book name and change it to read in our list. And this one's going to remove book from list. Ask for book name and remove book from list. So these are probably going to be your functions. In the prompt add book, you're going to be interacting with the database file to add a new book to our database. What I'm thinking is the database file will have something like add book, and that's going to take the book name and author, And it's probably going to do something like books, append, name is name, and author is author, and read is false, because it's not been read at the start. Okay. Now you'll have to create other functions here to do things like retrieve all the books from our list. You're going to have to add something to modify a book so it is now read. And of course, delete a book. And also you'll have to implement this menu here and all these functions. Read the brief in the very next lecture. It's got a bunch more information on exactly the motivation behind this project and also some hints and tips to help you along your way. But please do attempt this on your own before moving on to the next programming video where we will be implementing this. I'll see you soon.